fellow Jazz Bones. We have a great new episode for you today. We are going to do our top 5 jazz vocalists in our collections. We're really excited about this. But before we jump into it, remember to like and subscribe, comment. All that engagement really helps people find the channel. So thank you for doing that. I am actually going to kick it off today. So my 5th favorite jazz album in my jazz vocal album in my collection is this one here. So it's fairly common record. It's Julie Is Her Name. This one, I love the cover. This is an OG cover. It has that classic Liberty label. Here we go. There it is. Really cool label. It has like a tip-on jacket where they fold it over. It's glossy. The color, I don't know if it's coming through, but the saturation of the color is beautiful. I feel like you can only see this in like an old record. Right. And you can even see like the spine doesn't even have anything on it. Mm-hmm. So I think this is an early record from, let's see what the year is here. So this is 1955. It's on Liberty.
Does it have anything on the top spine?
It has nothing on the top. Okay. Nothing on the bottom.
They did that too, right? In the 50s.
Yeah. And but what's cool about this one, what's especially cool about this one, because not all Julie London records are this cool, but this one is one to seek out, is that Barney Kessel's on guitar. You also have Ray Leatherwood on bass. So you have a jazz group behind her, and she does the classic "Cry Me a River," of course. Classic cover. Here's the back, and then I'll quickly show the label. Now, actually, there's a couple variants of the pressing. So this is the OG label. And I really wanted one with the deep groove, and I even asked the guy that I purchased it from on Discogs if it had a deep groove. He said it did, so I don't know if he knew what that was, but it doesn't have the deep groove, which is kind of disappointing. But still, I love this Liberty label from 1955. So I'm starting it off with Julie London. Julie Is Her Name, 1955, on Liberty with Barney Kessel. Here we go.
So that's just a trio then? Just her and was it a
Yeah. So it's her, bass player, guitar player, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful album.
I've got several of her Liberty records, like the later ones. You know,
I have some of those from the early 60s. They're really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and pricing on this varies. I actually waited. I was just watching the Discogs because these pop up all the time, and I was waiting for like a VG Plus one to come up, and I wanted that deep groove. I knew the specific pressing I wanted, so I kind of was disappointed when it wasn't deep groove, but whatever. I mean, the pressing sounds excellent. But yeah, you can get this if there's not an affordable copy, there will be one. I feel like the price range really varies on this. Sometimes it's upwards of like $50, but you shouldn't. I would not pay more than $20 for this, and that's like the high end. So wait on this one, but I mean, just check out that cover. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Felipe. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just about to mention. I think there's no such thing as a bad copy. It goes as good as your cleaner goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So wasn't that also on Analog Productions? Didn't they do a remix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a double 45, and I think it's out of print now. It'll probably come back in print. Just check to see if it's backward or not. And Felipe, I think Felipe has a copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. We tried to pressure Mike into buying that copy for like
no. I waited.
So they actually reissued too. The
see,
45.
Look at that. I mean, that's a fine cover, but I mean, you can even see in our low res
the 45. And they also have a 33 with the Julie Volume 2.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I probably would have picked up the AP if it was a 33. Since it was 45 and $60, I was like, I'm not paying $60 for that record.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
cool. That's a great one, man.
That's awesome. Great pick.
And it's a really cool thing about these jazz vocal records is they're all very accessible. I mean, you can listen to them in any situation. They're not challenging. They were made to be popular music. They were popular music when they came out, right? So I've got one that was very popular. So my first one is Peggy Lee, or my number 5 is Peggy Lee. Black Coffee is this record.
I love that record.
It's freaking amazing.
It's a great one.
She's got a real. I'm trying to think of how to describe her singing style.
Badass.
Yeah, it's totally badass. She's just like a badass 50s singing lady, freaking awesome. Great picture of her here.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Cool. And this is the analog productions or the acoustic sound series that came out, I think, in 2020. This is probably one of the best sounding records in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
it's
also
really good.
probably one of the first 10 jazz records I bought. Once I got into buying stuff online.
Oh yeah.
That's a great one. That title track is so good when she's like coffee and cigarettes. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of standards on. Like, I've got you under my skin. It ain't necessarily so.
Yep.
Just a bunch of stuff. It's a great record.
Yeah, and that was reissued. That was originally issued as a 10-inch with a black and white cover, and then they did it again as a 12-inch with that cover.
Yeah.
And I always wanted that, and I want the black and white cover is even cooler than that one. All right, Felipe, you're up.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say top 5, my best, my favorites, because we're always changing moods, always changing what we listen to a certain period of months or weeks or days. So I try to pick things that are representative for me, not necessarily the greatest vocalists according to traditional lists. I left a bunch of stuff out. But my first one, it's one of my favorites. I had it on a CD. I bought the 45. I skipped the 33. And I think it's phenomenal. And it's a duo, actually. So it's going to be 2. I'm going to kill 2 in a single pick. And I think I could not be talking of anything else other than this beautiful recording.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Ella and Lewis, 1956, if I'm not mistaken, session. I mean, they sing the standards here. It's a beautiful recreation of the Verve record. It's a mono. I didn't get this 33 on the acoustic sound series, but this 45 is just off the charts. I think Michael in Germany, he mentioned that he was a test demo record for him, and I think it should be for anybody. Even the 33 might be like outstanding. You feel like they're here in the room with you. You can hear the trumpet. You can hear the voices. I think it's cool the way they're depicted in the cover. It's very simple, like a pair of black musicians just hanging out and singing their standards. And this record was actually a very powerful. I mean, the Verve owner who produced the record, Norman Gantz, he actually wanted to make this record a statement against racism, against discrimination. And I think he made it. I mean, just like Indiana Jones would say, this belongs in a museum.
No, absolutely agree. That's a fantastic record.
Right.
No, I didn't get that, so now I need to get it.
Oh, you have to get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why I slept on it. I've just been buying other stuff, and that's kind of been deprioritized. I should get that before it sells out.
Yeah, this type of classic, you should buy 3. One for you, one for your the love of your life, and one for your best friend. You got 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get that.
I mean, those two, Ella and Lewis, they're the most important people there are in music. I mean, Louis Armstrong is just everything, right? And Ella, anyway, I'll talk more about that later probably.
All right, this is number 4. So I never thought I'd pick this as my number 4, but this album I think is a highlight in this man's catalog. It's the only album I have by him, and it probably will be the only one, but I mean, I can't believe how good this thing sounds. And this is Mel Tormé, The Velvet
God, I almost picked this one. I bought it because of you.
Sings Fred Astaire, and I mean, just look at that cover. It's the Bethlehem OG. What's this from? This is 1956, and it sounds incredible. It's a mono pressing. He has a full proper jazz band behind him. I mean, it's not small. It's got alto, tenor, baritone, 2 trumpets, a valve trombone, French horn, tuba, bass, and drums.
Nice.
But I mean, he's doing a bunch of standards on this in his kind of own way with this group. I'm not so Marty Pike, P-A-I-K, is the leader and arranger. So it's his arrangements. I mean, first of all, I mean the songs. So he does Nice Work If You Can Get It, Something's Gotta Give, A Foggy Day, A Fine Romance. I mean, they're all standards on this. And the sonics, it's just amazing. And again, like you could see, they have the microphone.
I was fixing to say that they have the microphone.
And you know, those those mid 50s, early 50s. I mean, they like to show the studio equipment to kind of communicate, like, hey, we have really high fidelity, high, quality equipment on our label, and this is going to sound good, and it certainly does. And it's a top-notch record. And if you don't have this, I mean, it comes up on eBay. I think I literally got this for like $7 or something. So, and I think that's still possible today. But this is stunning. It's a Bethlehem, so if you're into Bethlehem, this is definitely one to pick up. Here's the back. And yeah, it's a great one. I mean, sonically, it sounds stellar. It is a stunner. So check this one out. Give it a stream. See if you like it. And if it pops up and you can get it for cheap, I would say without a doubt, get this.
Yeah.
Look how young he is there.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like a pinnacle in singers, right? He's a benchmark, and I think no matter if you like potatoes or potatoes, you're gonna like his record.
So I think he's 26. I think he's 26.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, and just before we move, this is so in '56 they switched to this label. So it's the second Bethlehem red label.
Yeah, let's see that
there, and it's still deep groove. Look how nice that is. But yeah, it's killer.
That's a cool one, man. I have another Bethlehem he did. It's got a bunch of cars on the cover. That's really good too.
Yeah, he did a bunch for Bethlehem.
But I don't have that one. But I just bought a copy in the last 2 minutes. So while you were showing it,
it's good. It's really good.
No, he's amazing. I mean, the other record of his I had.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a great one. All right, Chris.
All right, my next record is by a male singer, and I don't have the most famous record of his, but I picked Chet Baker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's known as a trumpet player, but his singing is just super special. This record here is from 1986. It's his later work, which a lot of people don't like, but I really like it. I like it. He's got so much life experience on his later stuff. It's it's outstanding. So this was on what is this called? This label, I can't remember now. Oh, Tidal Waves. Yeah. So Tidal Waves put this out. There was another one called Mr. B that came out. I got both of these from Acoustic Sounds, I believe, last year. Right. But this one, yeah. So it's got him. It's got basically him doing vocals and trumpet, and then Harold Danko on piano, John Burr on bass, and a drummer I can't see because I can't move the OP, but highly recommended these two records. But so anyway, his singing, right? On side 2, it's just him singing every single song, and his voice has this, I don't know, almost like an innocence to it. Yeah. Which he definitely did not have any innocence by the time he made this record. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, like it's vulnerable sounding, right? Like it's like you're getting him, right? You're getting the person.
Yeah.
It's just kind of amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, his singing style is often compared to João Gilberto. They sing the same type of tone. Yeah, very, very similar. Very similar.
Totally see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about the record of Chet Baker that you no, you didn't pick Chet Baker. So why don't you tell us about the record you have, Mike?
Which one? Chet Baker?
Yeah. That only you.
Oh, I don't have it in this room. It's over by my record player. But are you referring to Chet Baker sings?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I do have this one. This one's here. This is the Mono Record Store Day. I think they put out the stereo recently. But this one's very good too. I feel like
that is good. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I have this one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's on Riverside, so the other one's on Pacific Jazz.
Right.
I don't know what the years are, but I think they're a year or two apart. I mean, obviously the studios are different, the musicians are different. His voice, though, I mean, there's definitely a common thread. I think this one is recorded better, I want to say, than the other one. Just probably because it's just later, different studio, etc. But I think this one actually sounds better. But the Chet Baker sings, I think he does. I don't know. I mean, okay. So this one he does "Do It the Hard Way," which is a Rodgers and Hart song, which I know from this record now. "I'm Old Fashioned," which is a song that a lot of jazz musicians do. I can't remember. There's like a famous "I'm Old Fashioned." It might be on John Coltrane's ballads, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I could be wrong, but you're driving me crazy. It could happen to you. I mean, it's all standards. It really is like the follow. I mean, it is a follow up, literally, but I mean, it really, because he's singing on this. It's like a compendium piece to the for the first one, and it's great. So this one should be available. I think this is in print. So if you can't get Chet Baker Sings, pick this one up because it's in a similar vein to it. So grab that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that was also one of the 4 craft reissues they did recently.
That's right. Yeah.
Which are all amazing in quality. I mean,
yeah.
For the price, it's not
perfection. Exactly.
Good pick, Chris.
All right, what do we got next, Felipe?
Okay, so I'm gonna pick something that's kind of obvious. I mean, the jazz groups, that kind of stuff doesn't get posted too often, and people don't like that much. It's instrumental, the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And this record just turned 20. There was a special edition which I got, but this is an early edition, cut by Kevin Gray, all analog. And this is the kind of record that people say, "Oh, don't care much," but it's like kind of blue. No matter how much you don't care, you know all the songs. Right, you know everything about the record. So, shut up and play the hits.
Heck yes.
Right.
I want to start over. My list is flawed. That the fact that I didn't have this record on my list is ridiculous.
So
Yes.
I bought a 20th anniversary by Blue Note, which sounds amazing. This is the Kevin Gray cut.
Nice.
Which is super hot, super nice. It feels like she's here. And I mean, quite an achievement, right? This record sold like tons of millions of copies, won many Grammys. She was just starting her career, and I think she just kept getting better. She has such a soft tone, a nice way of playing, a good choice of musicians. I mean, this record is a landmark. It's probably the greatest jazz record of the century so far. I mean, correct if I'm wrong,
No, I totally agree with you. That record's outstanding.
I mean, that's
it's a crossover. That's a crossover hit.
Yes. I really do feel like my whole life is a lie right now that I didn't think about that record when I was making my list.
I forgot about Chet Baker.
No, I mean, Nora's just a beautiful person. Her singing's amazing. That record.
Yeah. And what I do like about her, she never got like stuck. She is always trying to do something different. I don't know if you guys check her, some of her record store day releases, like a lot of electronics mixed, and it's just, she's a great songwriter and player and singer, everything. I do dig her voice, the way she sings, everything about her music. I have everything Norah Jones.
That's very good. That's very cool, man.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
Nice pick. All right, so what are we at? Number 3?
Yep, number
We're
3.
getting serious now. Okay, top 3.
Yes.
Woo. All right. So what I picked, because I listened when I got this record, I listened to it a lot. She has a huge catalog, and I don't have many from it. I think I have 2, but this one is exceptional. And what I'm referring to is Basin Street East proudly presents Miss Peggy Lee.
I have this one.
Full dimension or capital full dimensional stereo. This is her in 1961 at the Basin Street East. She's backed up by a proper jazz band. Let's see who's on this. So on bass, you have the great Max Bennett. You have Stan Levy on drums. There's flute guitar. There's a harp player, 2 trombonists, 3 trumpeters. And yeah, she does all of her hits in a small jazz club, or at least it sounds like a small jazz club. The interaction with the crowd is excellent throughout the quiet parts of the songs. When she kind of like hits those notes, and you can hear the reaction from the crowd, it really kind of sets an atmosphere of a early '60s jazz club. So this one's really cool. It has a tone to it, a feel to it. She does. I mean, her famous. She does Day In Day Out. So that's a tune. I know. Frank has a great version of that. Moments Like This. She does the song Fever. One of her most famous songs.
Yeah.
Second Time Around. I Love Being Here With You. That's a great version. And it goes on. So this is a great one, and it has like a really good atmosphere to it. So late night, throw this on, and pour yourself a drink and chill out. This is a great one. Miss Peggy Lee.
I have the exact same one. It was like $1 fine here in the neighborhood, and wow,
Yeah,
it's just so good. You described really well the atmosphere, the band. I mean, if it was just a 7-inch with Fever, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. I may have that record. I've got a crate full of female jazz vocal records that I haven't even cataloged or listened to yet. And there's a bunch of Peggy Lee, lots of Dinah Washington, lots of Sarah Vaughan. I mean, it's really something I need to dig into.
The two, actually, I have three because I have the one that you showed, Chris, Black Coffee. Mm-hmm. Black Coffee and that live one, those are two you should have in your collection. They're both outstanding standalone pieces in their own way. Mm-hmm. And Peggy Lee was a badass.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the way that she interacts with the audience, speaking, the dialogue, the whole environment is just great. Yeah,
it's awesome.
So my number 3 is Carmen McRae.
Ooh.
I'll show you, this record is outstanding. So this is Carmen McRae, the Great American Songbook. So Carmen McRae actually started her singing career. I'm going blank now on the bands, but she said she sang in the same band that Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis was in. I mean, just all the bebop guys, right? And she was there when it started and sang and did records all the way throughout her life, basically. She sang in jazz clubs for 50 years. This is from 1972. It's called the Great American Songbook, like I said. This is just like a list of composers that are, she's sing songs from. And so it's pretty cool. This is Speaker's Corner reissue, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it sounds great. But in this band, on this night, she has herself on vocals and she plays piano on a couple of tracks. Joe Pass on guitar, which is just amazing. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Rolls on piano, and then Chuck DeMonico on bass, who I'd never heard of, but he's really a great bass player in this setting with her, and then Chuck Flores on drums. She's one of the most influential jazz singers of the 20th century.
Sure.
This is a great record.
Yeah, she's one of the greatest. No question. Number 3, I'm off the U.S. now. No more U.S. singers. Okay, let's start with it's a reissue because it's hard to find originals. But it's the label that you can get anything from them by blindly, because 3 Blind Mice rules.
Oh, absolutely.
That stuff. So if you don't have this record, it takes a while to come back in stock. I waited for about a year for Elusive Disc to have that back on stock. Ayako Hosokawa, A Whisper of Love. So this is a 1993 release. I'm sorry. Here's the beautiful 3 Blind Mice label. So she sings great jazz standards backed up by an all-American band. So Ayako on vocals, T. Carson piano, John Hathel bass, Jimmy Smith drums, Ray Lockley reeds, and Shota Osabi piano in some of the tracks. I mean, it's hard. You can barely tell it's a Japanese singer to start with, but at this point, I don't mind. Doesn't matter what kind of accent you have or anything. But she interprets the song and makes it so realistic, and the band plays it so full, it's so lush, and the recording is like outstanding. Okay, 1993, Japanese, and myself is digital. I don't care. It's perfection. It's lush. It's full. It's one of the best sound records you can possibly have.
There is absolutely no doubt.
I highly recommend this record. Whoever don't have it, put on those if not available, get a notification list and buy as soon as it comes out, because this is outstanding. One of the best, like $35 I've ever spent on a vocal record. Highly, highly recommended.
No, I totally agree. She's amazing. She was older when she recorded this too.
Yes, yes, a little late in her career. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So she's saying, I have this record. I bought it on your recommendation. It is still available right now on elusive disc. So,
oh yeah, so get it.
Go buy it, Mike. You should buy this. You should buy this.
I have the 3 Blind Mice box set that is exceptionally well recorded.
Yes, yes. Yeah, anything 3 Blind Mice, don't sleep on it, because it's phenomenal. Anything.
No, I was blown away by that record when I got it. So very nice pick, Felipe.
Thank you. I like it. All right, Mike. Number 4.
All right. Well, look, now we're at number 2. I mean, this is difficult, you know. I mean, I think there are just certain artists that need to be on this list, and I need to make sure that this person is on this list. And what I'm going to show, I think, is inarguably one of the best jazz vocalists ever, and that is Billie Holiday.
Very nice.
There are a lot of Billie Holiday records. There's a lot on Verve that you can get right now. What I wanted to show is this is a compilation of her stuff from the 30s, and this, I think, is her best years of working. The fidelity on these are not great. They don't sound, as good as what you're going to get on those reissue, AAA Verve things. But what you're going to get is a young Billie Holiday that sounds, her voice sounds incredible. And she's playing with, Ben Webster's on this, Lester Young, Count Basie's band. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's a 2-record set, and it's all the big bands that she played with when she first started. The liner notes are really good, written by Ralph Gleason, and he was essentially like her champion, and knows her personally. So these liner notes are written posthumously, after she passed, and he kind of just reflects on her, and it is just a great 2-record set. The fidelity, I think, is something that you can get past because of just the greatness that is on these recordings and the historical, relevance that they have. And I think that every record collection, Felipe and Chris and I joke around when people say like every jazz collection needs something, but you kind of do. You need some Billie Holiday, and if you haven't explored her early stuff because they're not reissuing it, on the big labels like Analog Productions or Vinyl Me Please or something, but look for these. I found this sealed. It was very cheap, and it's awesome. I mean, it's great. Mm-hmm. I will throw a side on from time to time, and it just grabs you because like the historical significance of it, and you see why she's so great. And reading just stories about her. I'm a huge Frank Sinatra fan, and he used to go to the 52nd Street clubs and watch her. She influenced everybody. She was she was core to all the music we love. She was at the beginning of it, and it has an incredible story, a sad story, but her 30s recordings are stuff to pay attention to and continue playing and listening to. So absolutely, that is my number 2 pick, Billie Holiday.
Absolutely. And I think Mike, Analog Productions is going to reissue Lady in Satin. They put on the catalog in the new, which is a great one. I think it's her last, if not one of her latest last records, and that thing is on 6. It's a 6i. So it's so mature, so suffering. It's just depressing, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's hard to synthesize that record. I think it was my first Billie Holiday, and it's my favorite.
Yeah, so Billie Holiday is an American hero and an American tragedy all rolled into one person. I mean, she's like the exemplification of the horrible drug policy of the 40s and 50s that were totally racially motivated. They used these laws to throw all kinds of jazz musicians in prison. They locked her up a couple of times, and they chased her to her death, basically, and planted drugs on her and everything else. So Her story is very interesting. There was I think a Netflix documentary about her life that everyone should watch. It's really good.
There's a movie too, the U.S. versus Billie Holiday, right?
Actually, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, that is the movie. U.S. versus Billie Holiday. Yeah. Her voice, even later. I mean, everyone knew that in her later years, her voice wasn't as good. Her range was much less than it had been earlier. But the late stuff has all that life experience, like you were saying, Felipe, and all the pain and suffering and everything. Her song "Strange Fruit" obviously is also what got her in trouble a lot. It was about lynchings in the South, and J. Edgar Hoover didn't like it, so he and the head of the DEA, whose name I can't remember at this moment, just made it a goal to go after her. So the entire federal government went after this black woman jazz singer and made her like the enemy of the state.
Yep. Okay, Chris, you're number 4 or number 2, whatever.
My number 2 after my rant about Billie Holiday
is Billie Holiday.
No, it's not. It's Sarah Vaughan. So Sarah Vaughan. Sarah Vaughan, probably more so than Carmen McRae, was part of bebop starting. I mean, she played in all those same bands, or she sang in those bands. She started as a piano player and started singing, and then she got her first gig with the first big band she was with, which I believe was Earl Hines' big band.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there with, I believe, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, who else? A bunch of other guys, but basically all the beboppers, right? And so this record was recorded in the 50s. Let me see, in 1955, and it includes Clifford Brown on trumpet.
Oh yeah.
Paul Quinchette on tenor.
Herbie Mann, right?
Herbie Mann on flute.
That's cool.
Jimmy Jones on piano, Joe Benjamin on bass, and then Roy Haynes on drums. I mean, without her on this record, this would be an insane lineup, right?
Yeah.
Hey Chris, can you show the session photos on the inside again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Beautiful.
Look at that microphone. That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another acoustic sounds issue. You can get this probably right now.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Sarah Vaughan in this record?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I bought it when it came out, and I still remember the first day I listened to this record. It just like give me the chills. It's just beautiful, beautiful the way she sings. Some people criticize her using too much vibrato, but I think it's amazing. I do like the way she sings, the arrangements, the band. This record is outstanding. Everybody should have it. Belongs in any collection.
I agree, it does. I missed the first wave. I had to wait for it to get repressed. Do you have that, Mike?
No, I don't have it. I don't know. I just I listened to it. I mean, Clifford Brown sounds amazing on it, but for whatever reason, maybe it was just the price of it. I just slept on it.
Yeah.
But now after seeing you with it, I kind of want to get it. Can you show the back?
Yeah, for sure.
Does it have it's blue. It has like a blue.
Yeah.
It's the classic like MRC first pressing back.
Yes, exactly.
I think the Peggy Lee is also blue, right? No? I might be wrong.
I don't know. It's on Decca, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a big scat singer. So when I say she was a bebopper, she used her voice as an instrument, like a horn, right?
Yeah.
She would improvise and scat and just insert little pieces of songs. There's recordings of her where you can listen to her for 20 minutes where they're doing a tune, and she quotes 20 different songs. But she's just as talented as someone like John Coltrane, and just as, in my opinion, advanced and.
Okay, my number 4 or 2. So I'm gonna pick this record. I think you guys probably saw me posting this before. So that's a beautiful Brazilian release, which means o fino do fino, the finest of the fine. So it was a TV show called O Fino da Bossa, like the finest of bossa. They ran on TV, and the Zimbo Trio is a jazz trio. Okay, they were the band that used to play every week on the show. And this show was hosted by Elis Regina, this great singer, one of the best ever in Brazil. It's on the beautiful Philips label. It's an original. So what's interesting about this record is a truly jazz record. These guys, if you listen to any Zimbo Trio record, and whoever knows these guys and heard, you can tell sounds like any Blue Note session, any good Blue Note session. The sound, the playing, those guys could do anything. They're like phenomenal. The band still exists with some changes in the lineup, of course. So this is a 1964 record, 65, and it was released. It says a live record. So she recorded a concert with them. And this is just outstanding. If you want to listen to some great jazz with some of the best of the Brazilian vocalists, this is the one to get. You can buy here on Discogs. It's not hard to find. It's not expensive. And man, this record sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's her voice. She was still early in her career, so maybe not still too wide reaching, but and Elis Regina, she was famous for being very good at half notes. On piano, there's a concept of half notes, and usually singers don't like. They kind of skip through. They kind of muddy it, and she was really good at hitting those notes and making it really, really clear and nice. And she could sing anything. All her records are different from each other, and she wouldn't interpret. She wouldn't sing a song. She would live a song. So, Mike, if you're asking about, get this record.
That is amazing. That cover is awesome as well.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very cool. I just added that to my want list because I can't buy every cool record you'll show me. I wish I could, but yeah.
This is a really good one. This is really good. Really,
so a
really
decent
good.
copy is about $20.
Yeah, so it should be in that range.
Yeah.
And the copies are usually going to be very clean.
Is that a Brazilian pressed, that version?
Yes.
Is that the one that I want to get?
I am not sure. Yeah, I mean, this I don't think this record was issued anywhere else. Probably in Japan, maybe.
Okay.
Or Europe or US, but as CDs, not as vinyl for sure. Japan, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah, a lot of Brazilian bossa nova obscure records, they were pressed in Japan. They are fanatic about it. They get tapes. They digitize. They do great stuff. Some really obscure things, even hard to find in Brazil, you can find in Japan, and sometimes with better quality.
Yeah, this one's been issued 5 times, 4 times in Brazil and once in Japan. So
yeah,
but it was issued in '86. That might be an option if you can't find one, the original from '65.
Yeah, but it's not an expensive record. I think when I went back home, I bought this one for like $20 or so. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's how it goes, and super clean. Highly recommend it, guys. If you want to listen to like a Blue Note level jazz by a trio and a superb vocalist, get this record.
Bam.
I'm checking it out for sure.
I mean, I just love everything by her. Not to mention Elise Ton, right? The record she recorded with Tom Jobim, just the two of them.
Okay, yeah. I still don't have that one. I want that one too, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to show that one.
No, I skipped that one because I thought it would be too obvious. Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, it's time for number 1.
All right. Before I show anything, obviously, I have not shown a lot of other singers. I feel like at the end, I'm probably just going to flip through a bunch of other people that need honorable mention. This one, let's just get into it. The man, the legend, Francis Albert, live Sinatra at Monte Carlo. I picked this one. This has such a cool backstory. So he was invited by Grace Kelly, who was then Princess of Monaco. She married into royalty, which probably is appropriate given the passing of Queen Elizabeth today. But I also picked this because they had a killer lineup on this. But essentially, he went over to promote a movie that he was in, and then also some albums that he put out. So this is 1957 Frank Sinatra. 1957 Frank Sinatra is like the best Frank Sinatra. I just want to say, for people who don't know his whole catalog and don't know too much about him, after like 1972, it's hit or miss. I'm not a huge fan of his stuff after then. He retired for the first time in 71. after the failure at the Billboard charts with Watertown, and he was just getting older. But this 1957, you have to think he's on his great comeback after he lost his record deal with Columbia, and I think with MGM, his movie deal. Capitol signs him. He puts out a couple records, has a smash hit with Songs for Swingin' Lovers. Puts out, I think, next one is Wee Small Hours, or maybe it was vice versa, Wee Small Hours, then Songs for Swingin' Lovers. Then he puts out A Swingin' Affair. Then he puts out Only the Lonely. Then he puts out 1957, Come Fly With Me. So he goes over there. I mean, he is on top of the world at this point. Most popular artist in the world, right?
Absolutely.
And he's out there. He did a movie. He did a couple movies. High Society with Grace Kelly. So he's buddies with Grace Kelly. She's now royalty. He's going out to do a concert with her at like the in France at, I forget what the name of the club is. It's it doesn't say it here, but it's at some club. He needed a band, okay, because he's out there. He doesn't have his band, so they put in some calls, and guess who they get? It's a young musician, American musician, who went out to France to learn arranging from some of the best French musicians. It's none other than Quincy Jones.
Oh, wow.
So they call up Quincy. Quincy's like, hell yeah, I want to do this. He gets a band together, and some of the musicians he gets on drums is Kenny Clark, saxophone is Lucky Thompson. He gets a French violin player, Maestro Stefan Grappelli, and a band together. And Sinatra, when he met him, it was the first time anybody called, first time in the industry where anybody called Quincy Jones Q. So Sinatra kind of gave him that nickname. And they play the show, and he does all his standards. He starts with Come Fly With Me, which is like the smash hit. He has I Get a Kick Out of You, I Got You Under My Skin. I mean, those three songs alone are just incredible. And then he goes into Where or When, Moonlight in Vermont, On the Road to Mandalay. He also like gives some anecdotes as he does in his live concerts that are really good. It was also simulcast on French radio. So that is what this is. This was Press the Vinyl in 1981. And this is, it's not a too expensive record, I don't think. I mean, I got this some years ago, but I don't think this is particularly expensive. So highly recommend this. It's a great piece of history. It's Frank at the top of his game, just loving life. I mean, you could hear it in his voice. I mean, just a great night, great concert. So yeah. So my number one, of course, is the great Frank Sinatra.
Nice. That's great. Johnny Fontaine.
Yeah. Now, I will say, people say Frank isn't a jazz singer. I'm not here to argue that. Frank never called himself a jazz singer. He did call himself a saloon singer. That's how he identified. So if anything, I feel like we can all agree on that.
Yes. He's the best. He's the best. Like, I think any genre, he surpasses anything.
Well, the thing is, I got into him before I got into jazz. And what was great about learning about his catalog and the songs is when I got into jazz, they did all the same standards. So I was like familiar with the songs. And that was that's the reason why I got into jazz is because of Frank. So
that's really cool. Stefan Grappelli is jazz violin, basically. He was huge. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. That's a cool sounding record. I'd like to have that.
Yeah.
I have a few. I only have 2 or 3 Frank records, but I'd like to have that because that's got a bunch of it's live. Yeah, it's great.
How come Dexter Gordon's not there?
Well, this is 57. Didn't he go later?
I haven't been there yet, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they got a picture of him on the back with him and Princess Grace.
So Felipe stole my thunder a little bit, which is fine, but I had the same 2 people in the same record, actually. So Ella and Louie. This is the 33 version, right? I mean, Felipe said a lot of great things about this record. Look at those pictures. Those are just amazing. The color was great, right?
Yeah, those 45 leaves, they suck. This is much better.
Oh, what, the jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, is it one of those just you slip both records into it? Yeah, that's fair.
It's big and flimsy, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Ella records. I mean, she recorded so much. She's the most important female or just most important jazz singer in my opinion.
Yeah.
You've got all these Verve records she did with Norman Granz, doing all the different songbooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Essential, amazing. And then Louis Armstrong, I already said, I feel like he's the most important American musician that's ever lived. His singing was one thing, right? His trumpet playing was out of this world. He basically invented improvising on the trumpet.
Yeah.
There's a record I've shown it a couple times during our live streams where it's his Hot 5 and Hot 7 groups from the 20s. That stuff's almost 100 years old, and you can listen to his solos, and it sounds like modern jazz. It's pretty crazy.
I am going to pick another one from overseas. I think you guys never saw me show this record. I think I never posted this record, but
Nice.
to me, she's my favorite singer, period. I do love her work, and the name of the record couldn't be more emblematic. Cantar, which means sing, the verb sing.
Nice.
Okay, so she's on a side here with the flower, a profile picture. This is an album by Gal Costa. She just turned 75. She's my favorite singer by far. Also on the Philips label.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And this record is very jazzy. It's a small band with arrangers that go from Caetano Veloso, Gilberto Gil, to João Donato, who's one of the greatest piano players ever, not only in bossa nova but in jazz. He's a big-time arranger, pianist. That's the back cover.
Very cool.
Yeah. So this record is quite interesting. I mean, it's from '74. So in Brazil, you have bossa nova, very traditional to late '60s, 69, 70.
Mm-hmm.
Then things start getting electric, just like here, those guys bashing Dylan. There was a big push against electric instruments, guitar. There were like street parades against.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this movement from these guys from the north, Gal Costa, Caetano Veloso, Gilberto Gil, which is right here. It's also classic. They came up with this movement called tropicalism, which means let's mix what we have here with the electric stuff and have like a very, very important record in the century called Tropicalia, where they fused everything together with a new style of music. It's just beautiful. And she was a lot into tropicalism. And then in the mid-'70s, she started going more towards traditional, singing more jazzy, bossa nova, and then exploring. Her records jump from place to place. But this was like classic Brazilian standards, really well produced, well recorded. This record sounds amazing. This is an original pressing, and it's just perfection. She can hit any note to these days. I mean, if you hear her singing, she has a full record singing Jobim from the year 2000, which is not on vinyl, CD only. There's a DVD as well, which is like a jazz band singing all the Jobim standards. That record also is a killer for me. I do dig it. And she's still active, recording. For the past 5 to 10 years, she's been only recording like new artists. So she's totally renewing herself, and which I think is just great. It's fantastic. My favorite singer by far of all time. And if you can find this record here, listen to it because it is beauty, pure beauty. And
those Philip covers from Brazil, they do a lot of cool cover art and very colorful.
Yeah. So Philips label was quite interesting. They had their subsidiaries. So Philips was the label that had everybody, almost everybody, all the big acts, all this bossa nova, more like refined music, progressive. But they had lots of subsidiary labels with the very popular acts.
Yeah.
And those were the guys that would sell like gazillion copies.
Yeah.
And they would actually fund this type of release. It was very smart from the artistic director.
What years was that from, Felipe?
This 74.
74, okay. And is the jacket like one of those European, like more floppy jackets, or is it?
Yeah.
It is? Okay,
yes. Cool. Yeah, some jackets like...
Is that the flip back? Is it a flip back?
No, it's a single jacket.
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah. Direct to board, as they call.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But some of those, like this one here, which is earlier, it's just two pieces of paper, not even glued together.
Oh wow.
So being on the plastic really helps. Really
Yeah,
helps.
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our top 5.
Yeah. And then just to say one thing, I'm not going to do any honorable mentions because there's a ton, and I think there could be a good reason for us to have more videos on the subject.
Felipe has spoken. No honorable mentions will be used today.
Well, I think we hit on.
No, you can do it. I'm excusing myself because
fine, dude, I'm down.
there's just so much stuff. There's so much stuff.
We did.
But I think it would be cool to see yours because I haven't thought of any because I'll really extend for too long.
I got one here. Hold on. I have a couple here. Okay. I have some here. All right. Can I jump in with a few? I'm going to go through these quick.
Yeah.
So yes, we will have some.
I can do one too. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So this was Creed Taylor's. I believe it's his first produced album. This is Chris Connor.
Nice.
Chris Connor gets a shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got the house that Nat built. You got Capitol, Nat King Cole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Honorable mention to Nat. You got, I don't think we mentioned her, but you have the great Nina Simone.
Oh, yeah.
The Bethlehem label.
That's a great record.
Yeah. And I don't think we mentioned her. But the great Dinah Washington, Dinah Jams.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one.
So live concerts were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, so that's it. And then I think the other people I didn't mention, you guys did.
Okay, go for it, Chris. I have to think about.
I mean, so I had Nina too. So let me just show these two records. I'm going to show you the records. They're the same people, but so this one Mike showed. I got this. This is a Kevin Gray cut reissue from like a year ago. I don't know if it's still available or not, but it sounds really good. It's amazing. And then this one was like the same thing.
Yeah.
But it was from the same session. And the sad thing with these records is that Nina Simone got screwed on them. She when they went crazy popular, she got screwed and she was super pissed about it. Never worked with Bethlehem again after that.
Yeah, Bethlehem like wrote her a check for like $3,000. Yeah. She was essentially like a studying classical musician. Put that out to make some quick cash. It became a smash hit, and she got none of the money. And then she didn't want to do anything with them. And then they put out a follow up with her other session takes. Yeah, that's why the photography on the front looks similar because that's all they had.
That's right. And then I really like this Dinah Washington record. It just came out on Vinyl Me Please. Her Emerson stuff's great.
Yeah,
I've got like probably 10 Dinah Washington records that I need to get to. On Emerson and Roulette, I think she did a bunch of stuff on Roulette, especially in the 60s.
Yeah.
Roulette is a label I don't really have anything of.
I've got 10 or 15 of them.
I have a Sarah Vaughan Roulette.
Atomic Mr. Basie is one that I would like, but every time I find it, it's a beat.
Oh, yeah. Those records got played hard. I mean, it's interesting.
Okay.
I think they were pretty popular at the time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick two. Yeah.
All right. So Felipe has honorable mentions after all.
I was forced to. Okay. All right. So this is a Vinyl Please recent. I think you guys got this one as well. Chris, for sure. I know you got it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
This record is amazing, and when I first saw it posted on, I think JVL, I started searching for originals. They go for crazy shit money, and I knew they were doing it. I just waited, and it's an amazing prestige session. I mean, and this is all analog. Okay.
Yes.
So it's an amazing record. I mean, her tone, I do dig it. If you don't have it, get it. Don't stream. Just buy it. You're gonna like it. And
I was really surprised by that one, actually.
Right?
I was very unsure of it just from the cover, and then it was great.
And side two, I like side two better than side one.
Exactly.
Side two is really good. Yeah, I mean, side one's good too. But.
Yeah. So next, since you're talking vocals, the Tom Waits record.
Okay.
More contemporary. It's from the 90s, but it's not Tom Waits singing. This Holly Cole, Temptation.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
This is the Analog Productions is a double 33, not 45. They have a 45 in those boxes, like
Oh,
UHQR
I've seen
box.
that. Yes.
There's a Nils Lofgren, and I think that the classic record as well. Couple of those. And Roger Waters, I don't think it's released, but they have been put on pre-sale. The Roger Waters, I'm used to that. This record is amazing. Such a small band, and she sings with such emotion, passion. I do dig it. Anything Holly Cole, it's great. Also, this one here, Don't Smoke in Bed.
Nice.
Also, Analog Productions.
nice.
I mean, yeah, they're really good. I do dig it. It's a great track, great jazz records.
Well, let us know what you guys think. Did we miss anybody? I'm sure we did.
Oh, we absolutely did.
Like, subscribe, leave your comments. Let us know what you think.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
everybody. Thanks for watching.